Welcome back to the whole RTG. You join me in the January transfer window, in the middle of it. Thanks to your feedback yesterday, we have some options to look at with regards potential new players to come into the club. As you know, if you saw yesterday's episode, we have now lost Conor Gallagher to Atletico Madrid, and we are on the brink of losing Grady Diangana to Inter Milan. He wanted to go, and the bid for Conor Gallagher came in, and I thought, it's a good opportunity perhaps to improve on a player in a role that isn't really that effective with him in it. Certainly we could do better than Conor Gallagher in that central midfield role right now. So, you guys have given me a hell of a number of options with regards what to do there, and out wide as well. Oscar Dorley is a potential central midfield option. I know nothing of him. He's Liberian. Not sure whether he starts at Slavia Prague or whether he's moved there in this save. Supposedly the team won't sell him though. He's too important. So I can't go for him. But I want to scout him just to see how good he actually is. With regards to the wide role, of course, we're only looking for a backup winger to replace Grady Diangana because he himself was a backup winger. Jared Bowen was mentioned, but I think Hull fans would rather that we didn't go for Jared Bowen. There was some outspoken Hull fans saying that they don't want to see him back at the club, so I won't do that. Harry Wilson was mentioned. Good option. Can play in central midfield as well, actually. So perhaps, considering he's got decent physicals and good passing stats, in fact, his passing's significantly better than his crossing, I could potentially play Harry Wilson as a centre mid, and that would really open up some potential options. That could be really good. He's obviously not as high rated, but I don't know what he would be if we changed him to centre mid. Maybe his overall would change. I'm not sure. Nor do I know how long it might potentially take to change him to a centre mid. David Brooks is another player we could buy who is down as a winger but could move to a central midfield position. 89 short passing, good dribbling, good crossing, good finishing. A really capable player by the looks of things. Let me have a quick look on FIFA and see what that overall default potential is. Harry Wilson. Obviously used to play for Bournemouth on loan, is a Liverpool player in real life. His potential is 82, supposedly. So he's hit 83, so he's almost certainly peaked now. Let's have a look at David Brooks, shall we? His potential is 83, so they've both peaked. Both I wouldn't really want to sign as wingers, but could certainly be used as box-to-box central midfielders. Neither are amazing in the tackle, but that's what Sangara is in the team for. So for the box-to-box role, we could try something out of the usual, out of the orthodox. Something out of left field. Excuse me, my slipper fell off. My foot got cold. Hussein Aouar is well out of my price range. I apologise. Jude Bellingham. Well, I don't know what he's valued at, actually. Release clause of 67.5 million. Don't know what his stats look like at this stage of a save. We'll wait and see. Camavinga looks very good. Very good, actually. Great in the tackle, great in the pass, great on the ball. Wonderful player. Expensive, though, at 70 million. It depends how much it costs us to bring in a winger as to what we can do with our forward player, or central midfield forward-thinking player. Ruben Neves is at Manchester City, probably out of my price range because of those wages. Donny van de Beek is also a similar sort of value and on a decent fair whack wage-wise as well. Valverde, I can't even afford his wages, let alone his transfer fee, so that's a no. Smallbone we're scouting. I don't think he's going to be high enough rated at this stage. I don't know anything about Asta Vrank. Let me have a look at them both on FIFA to start with. Will Smallbone, 67 starts at, potential of 80. He's not going to be good enough for our first team now. I apologise. And Asta Vrank, potential of 85. So he could be decent. Starts at 67, 17 years of age. So now he's at Liverpool, having moved from Mechelen in Belgium. He might be a good option. And they do obviously already have Tanguy Ndombele as kind of a box-to-box midfielder for them. As they've just brought him in this window from, well, presumably Tottenham Hotspur. So Tanguy Ndombele's not going to be an option. Yuri Tielemans has just moved to AC Milan. So he would have been a great option as well. But unfortunately, not a priority for us at this stage because he's just moved to AC Milan in this save. Then there's Kudus, who looks unreal, but also very expensive. I don't know anything about Mohamed Kudus. He's been a much more popular option this year than any other year. I don't know if he's new to FIFA or new to a kind of high potential player option, but potential of 87, peaked, starts at 77, and is at Ajax in real life. I know nothing of him. I've never seen him play in real life. It's only really in FIFA that I've seen people actually say that he's any good. Emil Smith-Rowe could be an option in central midfield. Also on the right wing, to be fair. We'll wait and see what his stats look like. He's actually the top goal scorer in the league right now. So genuinely could be a very good option. Harvey Elliott at Aston Villa right now. Don't know if he's grown much. Marcus Edwards is 84 rated. Just moved to Villarreal, so unfortunately not going to be available. Yari Verscheren is another wide player that could be used centrally. 90 acceleration, but only 80 sprint speed. But every other physical stat other than strength looks good. He can't defend at all though, really. So it would probably be in the wide midfield role that we look to utilise him. But my main target, as you see Christian Pavon there as well at Arsenal. My main target is Pedro Neto. I don't know how many times I've said throughout the course of various different saves, I always want to try Pedro Neto, and I never really take the opportunity. Well, this is the perfect opportunity. We're looking for a backup winger. He's valued at 40 mil, but we might be able to get him slightly cheaper than that, according to our chief executive. So, once we've confirmed that Grady Diangana is gone, Pedro Neto will be the winger I go for, and then we will wait till we get the scout reports back to decide on what to do in central midfield. For the time being, Rob Wallace will come in. Obviously 82 rated, boosts take him up to an overall of 86. He's not amazing in the tackle either, so for players that are out wide and half decent in the tackle, certainly could fill that role. So we'll start with Leicester away. We follow that up with West Ham away, and then it's Southampton at home before we end the episode. Unfortunately, of course, out of the FA Cup now thanks to that defeat to Chelsea, sadly. There's their starting lineup. Bayendier in goal, James Justin, Saliba, Konsa, Gomez, Celik at the back, Maddison and Sanchez. James Maddison could be an option as well, actually, for that centre mid role. He's more, perhaps, of a cam. Oswald Donato, Under and Serrano as the front three. In fact, let me have a look at James Maddison briefly, just to see what he's rated at, just to see what he looks like, just to see how much he's valued as, because he could be a great option for us. 85 rated, not very expensive. He's on a decent whack wage-wise. James Maddison could be a wonderful player for us. Helps if you actually add him to your transfer list, Ches. Some really tasty options. Some more experienced than others. Some higher rated than others. But certainly some quality there that we have the potential to choose from if we have the finances available. Right, let's go and play Leicester away. Get a win and put ourselves in an even better position in the league to be an enticing prospect for a new player to come and sign for us. Who wouldn't want to sign for a side that's 8 points clear at the top of the Premier League? Cengiz Under, nicely picked off by Sangare. He'll have the strength to hold off Under, certainly. And Wilkes could look for Lewis Potter around the corner, who's onside here, I believe. And Charlie Barnett's in the middle, and a mixture of the defender and the goalkeeper will ensure that it's cleared away and not an own goal. We did have one go in a similar fashion earlier in the season. Against Bournemouth, I think it was. It might have been. I can't quite recall. Around the corner, I couldn't quite find him, but it's fallen kindly for Lewis Potter, who's somehow managed to get past Soyuncu, and into the back of the net it goes. I don't really know how I've done that. The defender came at me, and with quick feet, Lewis Potter has danced around him. That's a wonderful goal. A wonderful goal. We take the lead here at the King Power. Leicester with a really good side. I get so lucky there, and well, the defender's gone for it and just missed it. And Lewis Potter has hurdled to the challenge. That's not Soyuncu, that's Coates, isn't it? That's Sebastian Coates. But we have ourselves a 1-0 lead against a side that have a decent team. Their squad is, or at least their starting 11 here in this game, is pretty decent. But they're 17th in the league and heavily, heavily underperforming for a side that are this good in-game, have the reputation in real life of late, basically since their title-winning 2016 season, of being kind of a European challenging side. Certainly this year again as well, although they've just lost to Leeds in real life by 3-1. Or at least they went 3-1 down late on, but I'm pretty sure there hasn't been any other goals. So Chowder is obviously not the best of players. He's going to find Jimmy Maddison here though, but Steyu's in the way. Maddison having the opportunity to have a little bit of an audition here to potentially become a new Hull City player, we have the opportunity to just have a look at him as well. He might not play that well. He might put us off rather than make us decide to go for him if he doesn't play very well. He's not had much of the ball so far. Renato Sanchez trying to follow. Oh, it's a nice ball. And the run's good. Oh, I'm going to get lucky. I'm not going to get lucky. James Justin's done enough. We'll have the corner, though. He nor the keeper could decide which of them wanted to keep that in place. Steu's up here. That's flicked on by the defender, and Coates just sees it behind with Tavares looking dangerous. We'll try again for the edge of the 6-yard box. Steu is up. Again, keeper's calm, and he's not flapped at it this time. He's claimed it well. Half an hour in, it's still just a 1-0 to Hull City, but we certainly are the better side. And a little bit flash, but it might work. He's holding off Callum Elder here, and no! Immediately, Oswald Neto equalises for Leicester City. Cengiz Ünder kind of made a mockery of Callum Elder there and then just held him off. Just found the ball into the middle. Oswald Neto has his shot initially saved by the goalkeeper, Galacci. I thought Vaya could have gotten there, maybe. Oh, he's just bounced off him as well. It's just an unlucky goal to concede. There's not really too much more to say about that, is there, unfortunately? They weren't behind for long, were they? Leicester City right back in it at 1-1. Maddison across to Renato Sanchez. Nicely done and closed down quickly by Sangare. The options are arriving. That's a lovely ball through to Pinto's onside here. Oh, but can't find a teammate. Just needed Barnett to drop off there. He kept running towards goal. If he hangs back, it's a simple ball back across to him. I don't want to see that Oswald Neto goal again. Thank you very much. Pinto with the delivery here. Wilkes could be underneath it. So who it was underneath that, going for the strange attempt to try and get the ball under control. I think it was Steu. It's 1-1 at half-time. We've been the better side, but clearly Leicester can punish us if we switch off at the back, which we cannot afford to do for a second time. Transfer confirmed, of course, that Conor Gallagher has gone to Atletico Madrid, and we hope to replace him in the coming days. But I need to get some scout reports back on the players you guys have offered me before I can make a definitive decision as to who's going to be the man to replace him. Oswald Neto just couldn't quite keep his balance there on the edge of the box, and Wilkes will play Keane Lewis Potter in behind Sebastian Coates. He's already got one so far this afternoon. Keane Lewis Potter looking to play Rob Wallace in, who could play Malik Wilkes around the corner. Can't quite get it done. Jack Harrison has scored for Manchester City here to give them a 2-0 lead, so we know that if we don't win this one, the gap at the top will be closing. The City are 2 goals to the good away from home, and we are still drawing here in Leicester. We certainly need to get that second, and as quickly as possible now, because time's running out. And the longer it goes on, the longer Leicester might be able to hold on. It's another good ball in behind, looking for Cengiz Ünder. Garcia Vaya does have decent sprint speed and good strength too to hold off Ünder, bundling him to the ground. Closed down quickly by Renato Sanchez there. Go on, Barnett. He went to commit and then hung fire. We'll look to play Callum Elder in on the overlap. I've got nobody in the box to aim for yet, so we'll have to go back to Keane Lewis Potter, who's gotten past Renato Sanchez. Barnett's there on the edge of the box. Wilkes here too. Can he get past Sebastian Coates and get the shot away? It's a corner with 5 to go then. Instead, whipped in. Steu's there. Can he win that? Saliba does. Keep that in play if you can, please, Leonardo. Or, you know, completely ignore it. It's up to you. Lewis Potter brings that down from the throw. Sangara's kind of in the way at the minute. Move, please, sir. Go on, Charlie. Go on, Charlie. Good block by Saliba. Will it fall to someone in a Hull shirt? It won't. And Saliba will just get rid of it. Anywhere will do for Leicester at the minute, trying to hang on for what could be a very important point for them come the end of their season. Barnett to Pinto. There's Sangare quickly looking for Lewis Potter, who could spin. Oh, he's not got the space to get the shot away on his right foot. He's trying to find some space for a teammate. Charlie Barnett trying to whip it and can't. And I don't think it's going to be our day here at the King Power. Leicester defending valiantly, fighting very, very hard, and will earn themselves a point and maybe more if Ezequiel Barco can find a teammate in the box. He's got the legs on Tavares here. He's going to cut back. He's got Maddison there on the edge of the box. What's James Maddison going to do? Nice little drag back. He's found himself tackled, and that's the end of the game. Unfortunately for Leicester City, it's just the one. Unfortunately for us, it's also just the one. Goal and point. Annoyingly, a couple of chances just wouldn't quite open up for us there. Leicester defending very, very deep and getting bodies behind the ball. City get a 2-0 win against Bournemouth, so that's them closing the gap on us in the league to just 6, and then it's a further 6 back all the way to Liverpool. So we're going to go and train And then if I don't hear anything about the players we've got on the shortlist or anybody that we're currently scouting, then I will let you know in due course what's happening in the transfer window. As we approach West Ham, confirmation that Grady Diangana is now an Inter Milan player. £62.5 million to fee, 55 of which added to my budget. So we have roughly 120-ish million pounds to bring in two replacements for Conor Gallagher and Grady Diangana, which should be relatively straightforward to do. I'm still waiting on some scout reports, so I'm not going to jump the gun yet. However, I do know that I want Pedro Neto, so I am going to go and get that deal done as soon as possible, and I'm not going to waste any time on that side of things, but I do want to hold fire on doing the central midfield option just till I've got a couple of the scout reports back. Now, 46 million would leave me about 70 for a central midfielder, which is probably going to be enough for someone of decent quality, but we'll try and leave a little bit more available if we can get them to agree to a smaller deal. They rejected 42. Well, they accept 43.5. He's valued at 40.5, and he's still young, so they are letting him go relatively cheap here. Weekly wage of £96,000. So that is bigger than what we currently pay a number of our players, but he only wants a sporadic squad role. That suits me down to the ground, so I would imagine he's not going to want too much wage-wise. Give me an idea of what you want and I'll be thrilled, because I don't want to undervalue, but then at the same time I don't want to think the... Yes, there we go. Because I could have gone, okay, he wants a sporadic role, maybe I'll pay him 45 grand a week, and he might have just straight up walked away from that. Alternatively, I could have thought, well, he's on 96, maybe I'll offer him like 80-ish, and I would have paid too much for him. So it really does help when they give you an idea of what they want. We'll try and get the same deal done with regards to bonus, but we'll drop it by 4 grand a week to 65. Okay, they've dropped the signing bonus, but have upped the wages back to 69. That's fine. I'll take that. He is in. Pedro Neto is a Hull City player. Still playing in very similar colours, but now for us instead of Wolverhampton Wanderers. And we will throw Dave Gunn on the bench there ahead of George Long. Let me just quickly move these guys about for OCD so that everybody is in position order. There we go. We've got a small squad now, but we have been lucky throughout basically this whole save. Other than Joshua Emmanuel, who kept picking up injuries, we've not really missed anyone for a massively long period of time, at least not more than the odd occasion. So I'm really pleased that this squad has been able to get us through the leagues and stick together and work together. And we haven't really had to kind of throw randomers in at times to make it work. You can see their starting lineup on the left there. Again, another 5 at the back, although this time 4 in midfield and Esposito is up top on his own. Let's see what West Ham are all about away from home. Cue the bubbles at London Road. Felipe Anderson down the line. Bernabé to Sanchez. And Felipe Anderson again. Kind of makes your eyes feel a little bit weird, doesn't it, with the bubbles? Bernabé, apparently, this is his debut for them at left wing back. So I'm intrigued to see how good of a signing he turns out to be for West Ham. They're kind of lower mid-table as well. So in fact, all 3 of today's opponents are kind of lower mid-table. I think West Ham were 15th or 14th, and Southampton were one place either above or behind them, and Leicester obviously was 17th as we headed into that game. Not sure if the point they got against us has risen them up the table at all, but Maxence Kakare is getting the ball away from me here, and a very important tackle by Sangare there as Kakare sprawled to the floor. He's got a good foot in there, and he's gotten away from Alec Wilkes as well. Here's Sanchez. I remember Josip Martinez in goal for West Ham was unreal last time we played them, and certainly a big factor in helping West Ham keep the scoreline down. Alec Wilkes could break through this gap here, but Sebastian Bornau, formerly of FC Köln, has gotten a good tackle in. Some physical challenges going in these opening few stages, though, down in East London. It's getting a little bit feisty in the opening stages here at the London Stadium. I certainly hope that we can avoid any bookings and/or red cards. Sorry, yellow cards or red cards. Esposito does enough to hold off the defender. Stoyo, I thought, would have had more physicality about him than that. Right. Counter. Go on then, Rob Wallace. Why not? Oh, where do we go? Charlie Barnett's here. Alec Wilkes. King Lewis Potter. Force him out wide. Cut back. There you go. That's what Malik Wilks has done well there. Something that Charlie Barnett didn't do in the last game. Just drop back so that they're in a bit more space to cut it back to. Unfortunately, it's a good save by the keeper again. And we haven't taken the lead there, but we could still work something. Barnett's in and can't get past the defender. Sangare can't get there either. Well, we look like the better side in this first half, but we did the same against Leicester and still weren't able to win that. So I'm not holding out too much hope that it's going to be an easy game. West Ham fighting hard defensively, just as the Foxes did. Fingers crossed this time we'll come away with a win. Elder inside to stir you. Sangare's there. Barnett is, well, came in a good position to try and get to it, but unfortunately the ball went to Wilks instead. But Rob Wallace doesn't score many, doesn't play many, but has gotten himself a goal. We lead down at the London Stadium, but we did that in the last one and threw it away. So I'm not gonna say that's game one yet, but you can see the man over. It just had to be done. Pinto cutting inside, drew the defenders away. Thought I might have done too much when I took the second touch after turning inside, but thankfully that just opened up the angle a little bit more to try and find that far corner. We've done well. Congratulations, Rob, your first goal in the Premier League. At least this season. I can't remember if he scored in the Prem last year. Regardless, certainly his first goal in the Prem this season, and we're off the mark and 1-0 in front. And maybe even they've gifted us the opportunity to go 2-0 in front. They may well have done. No! Charlie Barnett off the post. Unbelievable. Go on, Tavares. Pick that up. And inside to Rob Wallace. I can't believe we haven't scored there. Genuinely can't believe it. Through that gap. Lewis Potter. Oh, Josip Martinez is at it again. Just unbeatable in the West Ham goal at times. Not entirely, obviously, because we've already scored one, but still, excellent goalkeeper for them. Really, really good. Lewis Potter to Charlie Barnett, trying his right. That didn't work. Malik Wilks can win that header. It'll fall to Barnett again, looking to get it to Wilks for a second time and can't do it. All action in this first half. All action that sees us have a 1-0 lead. Across the Sangare. Is Elder. It really does hurt your eyes, these bubbles at times, when the ball moves quickly from side to side. Gives me a little bit of eye strain. Can't concentrate properly, and it's worked in their favour because Esposito's in behind, and I need to get rid of this, please, Tavares. Thank you. Oh, Gabriel Jesus to Manchester United, did that just say? Big save by Galacti to keep us in front here at the start of the half, but in bigger news, Gabby Jesus, a Manchester United player, something I never thought I'd see. It was actually good tracking by the defender there, Kufel, to see that there was a man in space on the far side. And again, Josip Martinez. Someone stop this man. He's too good in goal. Time and time again. Now in a second game against West Ham, he denies us the opportunity to add to our goal tally. Bernabé inside to Esposito. You saw the defensive line step there. I didn't trigger that, but it certainly helped in keeping West Ham out. Garcia Villa. Let's not get too adventurous. We do only have a 1-goal lead. Let's not have centre-backs wandering forward, shall we? Charlie Barnett forward to attack the line. Played in by Pinto. And squeezed around the corner, Leonardo. Wilks is out at the back post if we can find him. And we can. Just the wrong side of the defender from his point of view. He ran that little bit too far and couldn't stop and turn around in time. Wilks sweeps that home to make it 2. Now Garcia Villa can have a little foray forward if he wants. So the number 36, he just is trying to track the run and he just couldn't quite slow down in time or throw a leg out towards it. And thankfully for me, he seemed trying to slow down and turn, but he can't. Wilks has already read where the ball is going to go. His 12th goal of the Premier League season, our second of the afternoon, and we should now get 3 points. Pinto off, and for the first time in any career mode ever, the player that I've wanted to actually try out for probably about 4 years in various different series. Pedro Neto is on the field for me for the very first time, wearing number 13. Playing on the right-hand side of the 3. He's got 87 finishing, so certainly should be pretty capable in front of goal. Is quick and has decent passing too. Should be a pretty capable reserve winger for us, I hope. That, not the best of passes, looking for Wallace. I want to try and get Neto involved if I can, but he's certainly too far out the way at the moment. Tucked in there to Charlie Barnett. They've backed off. And that's what happens when you back off Charlie Barnett. 3 of the best from different players. We've made them pay. Hull 3, West Ham 0. Really nice patient move, and you can't leave Charlie Barnett there with that much space because that happens more often than not. Kufal out wide right for West Ham, trying to get themselves something. Trying to give the fans something to cheer for. We tried that against Chelsea yesterday. We weren't able to find the something to cheer for, unfortunately. Barnett, well, they're just going to keep backing off me, are they? Pedro Neto arrives, and Tavares is available round the outside. Round the outside, round the outside. Look for Pedro Neto, spin on his left foot. Oh, he's seen new teammate Charlie Barnett do it. He wanted to have a go himself. Not quite got his angles right there, Pedro Neto. In fact, Charlie Barnett almost sprinted at him trying to block it, it looked like there. That was very strange. We lead by 3-0 still with 3 minutes to go as they make, well, let's say for argument's sake, their third change of the game. Canelo on for Felipe Anderson. Garcia Villa just showed great positional awareness there to readjust to the flight of the ball and ensure that he got there first ahead of the West Ham man. And with just seconds to go, we'll comfortably pick up a win here against West Ham. I'm not sure how we'll get on against Southampton. I'm probably going to end up simulating that result just to get to the transfer action a little bit quicker today. Needing to get all of those scout reports back. And we've got plenty to think about once we get there. So we should be pretty safe for a win against Southampton in a Sims game. So we'll probably do that. And then we'll end the transfer window today. So let's jump back to the window. We'll jump back to the menus. How did Manchester City get on today? They haven't played, at least on that list. So that should extend our lead at the top again. Manchester City must have played on Friday because the gap is still 6 points. And then a further 7 back to Spurs. So certainly a two-way fight for first, and second. And Spurs, Liverpool, and maybe, Spurs and Liverpool are kind of battling out for third. And then Arsenal, Manchester United, they're just trying to hang on to the top 4, really. And you've got Wolves are also on 39, Everton 36, Chelsea only 33. Still haven't drawn a game. 11 wins, 12 defeats. Pretty ridiculous. Southampton are 13th now. So we'll keep going a little bit further. We've got the game midweek there, as you can see. We'll simulate that, and hopefully we'll start getting some of those scout reports back sooner rather than later. The majority of them should come back in full before the end of the transfer window, which is obviously what we want to happen. We should be getting some quite soon. What's morale looking like? Morale's okay. Morale's all right. We don't need to artificially boost that with a press conference. Let's go and quick sim the game against Southampton and win 2-0. Good. Ivan Toney coming off the bench. Wilkes, Lewis Potter with a brace. Southampton creating nothing. That's how we like it against our opposing teams. Manchester City won still though, so the gap is still 6 points. And Spurs still 7 points behind as well. Right, well, let's have a quick look at that shortlist and see if we got an idea of some. We're getting there. There's still probably a little while longer before we can definitively know who is and isn't a decent central midfielder or not. I'll go and remove the ones that we certainly can't afford off there as well whilst I train, and I'll see you in a moment. We have arrived at transfer deadline day. We've had some scout reports back, a couple we're still waiting on, which is slightly frustrating, but we should have a good idea at least of some players' stats. You can see the biggest deal so far in this window is Houssem Aouar. Which way do I need to go? This way. £150.9 million. I certainly couldn't afford that. That's more than twice my budget. Gabby Jesus went to Manchester United for 117.9, and Oscar, who I know nothing about, I don't think, has gone for 80.5, was it? 85.6 to Bayern Munich. So, I've removed players that I absolutely definitively cannot afford from this list. And so, we have as follows. Dawley, I don't know his stats yet. Physically, he looks insane. Technically, I can't see enough to be absolutely sure that he's amazing, but he does look decent. Short passing of 85 to 89 is good. Ball control of 83 to 87 is good. Oh, I don't know if I know enough to commit. Plus the fact that I'd forgotten actually, they don't want to sell him, so right, won't get him anyway. Jude Bellingham, we're still waiting on a couple of stats. Physically, looks very good. Technically, his tackling's going to be good. His short pass is going to be good. His dribbling and finishing are going to be very good. Ball control, still questionable. Crossing's not really that important. Long passing, not as important. I tend to play a shorter game. Long shot's going to be okay. Shot power's going to be all right. I'm kind of on board with Jude Bellingham, to be honest. Camavinga is amazing, but out of my price range. So, although he's not on much a week, wage-wise, I will actually have to check my budget to see if I might be able to squeeze Camavinga in. Smallbone and Vranks, unfortunately, aren't going to be good enough. So they're going to get removed, I'm afraid. And Tuna was a player I still wanted to see stats for, but he's not going to be that good. Smith Rowe, he could play at centre mid, but he's really not quite going to be good enough, unfortunately. So I think it's between, well, basically everybody here. James Maddison, we know is going to be good, and we know can do the job, and is affordable at £50 million, there or thereabouts. Camavinga is going to be spectacular, but more expensive. Jude Bellingham is certainly going to be of quality. I'm intrigued to perhaps try something out of the unusual, though. Out of the usual, even. David Brooks at centre mid. Or Harry Wilson at centre mid. Harry Wilson at centre mid could be really good, you know, and it is something that isn't the norm. And I might like to try that. Jude Bellingham is... I mean, I know we do tend to occasionally sign players that are a bit obvious. But, I mean, Jude Bellingham and Eduardo Camavinga, you don't really get much more obvious than the two of those. Camavinga, I'm almost certain can't afford anyway. Jude Bellingham... I kind of want to try Harry Wilson at centre mid. Because with those physicals, good acceleration, good sprint speed, decent agility and balance. It's not necessarily fast enough to play out wide. But as a centre mid, if you moved him with... 85 free kick accuracy, short passing is 85, ball control 86, dribbling 84. Could do a job, 86 curve as well. Long shot taker, outside of the foot shot as well. I think I'm going to do it. He's not overly expensive either. He's 27, Maddison's 28. Maddison is better though. Oh! Maddison is significantly better, isn't he? Significantly better. I'm sorry, Harry, but thinking about Champions League, I'm gonna have to go with James Maddison. Thinking about where we're gonna need that little bit extra quality moving forward. Whoa, I am not on board with paying that much. Thank you very much. That was very high, and they seem to be stuck with it. Non-negotiable, said Brendan Rodgers there. Well, we'll see how non-negotiable that is, shall we? Pretty non-negotiable, apparently. Come on. I can't afford much more. Oh, you need a little bit of time, do you? Well, you better come back to me before the end of deadline day, I'll tell you that much. We have 9 hours to go. It's probably going to be an incredibly expensive transfer deadline day throughout the world as well. Maddison offer has been negotiated to 67. Okay. I'll pay £67 million for James Maddison. He's certainly a player that is established, has talent, is quick, technically good. I'll say important. If he wants crucial, he can have it. We can certainly afford his wages. Obviously, another player with a face scan as well, which is important for you guys from a visual audience point of view. You guys like to always have players that have player faces. I'll offer him 100 grand a week and £600,000 as a signing on fee. I've no idea whether he'll accept that or... Yeah, okay, good. Brilliant. Okay, James Maddison is in. We have a new central midfielder. Your contribution. This will be the crucial midfielder or... There you go. How's that then? Crucial midfielder role assigned. Wallace back to the bench. Sorry, Rob, I know you got a goal today, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough to keep you in the team. James Maddison, we will have to change to a central midfielder. Please don't take too long. I could move him slightly further forward and that would ensure that, at least for the time being, he gets a bit of a boost. Please don't take too long to change to a centre mid, otherwise I'll be very, very annoyed. 295 weeks. Why would it take James Maddison 5 years to retrain as a centre mid when he's already got centre mid in one of his positions? This is why sometimes I think FM is better. Fuck my life. 5 years to retrain as a... Oh, for fuck's sake. What a joke. What a joke. Can we move him slightly further back? We can. I don't want him to be too far forward. It's going to have to be there. Christ, that's annoying. He literally has central midfielder in his positions, but it's going to take him 5 years to retrain from cam to centre mid. What a farce. What a joke. Hopefully that's fixed for FIFA 22, because that's just completely nonsensical, isn't it? Oh, never mind, eh? £300 million spent so far on transfer deadline day. Relatively quiet comparatively to the summer. Never mind. The big transfers start to come. We've had a bid for Bayar again from Fiorentina. This time was Bordeaux last time around, which we will quite comfortably reject. Had a bid from Juventus for Elder as well, but we're turning that down, or did turn that down. That's another massive jump. I'm so annoyed that that's just... Why can't they introduce a new feature and have it work? Why does every new feature they bring to the game break? So, just stupid. £900 million then spent on transfer deadline day. The three biggest deals are still as they were. Let's see what went down in the transfer window with clubs in our division, and then we'll have a look through the larger sales in this save this window. Bournemouth not doing much, actually. Villa doing a little bit. Was Arsenal in there too? Arsenal signing Cabral, selling Dembele and Lima. Dolberg in at Aston Villa. Not too much going out. Just £6 million worth of player. Pongracic in at Brighton. Burnley doing a little bit, but not much. Chelsea shedding all of their expensive players by looks things. Hudson-Odoi and Lukaku, two of their main players. Who said Lukaku played every time we've played against them. Batshuayi came off the bench as well, and they only brought Enrique Francisco in, so I'm concerned for Chelsea's front line. No wonder they are where they are in the league. Macias in at Everton with Yaremchuk and Campagna going out. We obviously signed Neto and Maddison. Gallagher and Diangana going out. We've actually turned a profit of £11.5 million in doing so. Serrano, Katsi and Brown in at Leicester with Maddison coming out. Of course, Salisu and Kofi in at Liverpool. City signing Mazzotta and Aouar. Mazzotta obviously only £10 million or so. Selling De Bruyne. Wow, I'd be intrigued to see where he's gone. Atuesta, Bustos and Sufraya. If De Bruyne has gone for less than 70 million, I'm going to be pissed, because I could have got Kevin De Bruyne in my team. Jesus and Ortiz in at United with Ndidi and James out. Medina and Nieto Herrero at Newcastle. More outgoing fee than incoming fee for Sheffield United. Southampton just kind of breaking even almost. Pepe, presumably Nicola Pepe. A lot of players in this save have kind of gone to rival teams via someone else, which is very strange. West Brom doing a little bit. West Ham signing Bernabeu. We mentioned that earlier as well. Bezo, Neto and Kitolano out at Wolves with Traore. Presumably Adama back at Wolves, and Dan James in too. We'll have a look at the biggest deals in this window in a moment. The transfer window is closed. £910 million. A relatively quiet, tumbleweed style transfer window deadline day compared to everything else we're used to in this save. Aouar being the biggest of this window as we saw. Then it was Gabby Jesus. Then, where are you? Oscar. 86 rated Cam. Wow, he looks very good. Anything else in this window? Let's have a look through. Daniel Marlon to Villarreal went through on January the 1st after being agreed between windows. Longley to Real Madrid. Again, to a rival team via someone else. Barcelona to Real Madrid via Bayern Munich. Really strange how that keeps working as well. Wilfred Ndidi's gone to Hertha Berlin. Lima went to Sevilla. Hudson-Odoi's gone to Leverkusen for £69.3 million. I mean, as he's 84 rated and we've got Neto in for significantly less than that, I'm quite happy with that, actually. That wasn't done this one. Cabral has come to Arsenal from Leverkusen for £67 million. That's an improvement on what they had, you would say. Anything else? Let's have a quick score through. Kevin De Bruyne, 33 years of age, £65 million. I could have had an 87 rated Kevin De Bruyne in my team. if I'd have known. Actually, he'd already gone by the time we had the money come in, I guess. So perhaps that makes it slightly less frustrating. Barca also buying a 31-year-old Romelu Lukaku. Aging players at Barcelona. You don't say. That's rare, isn't it? Romagnoli to Chelsea, that was earlier in the window. Conor Gallagher, we did that one. Pedro de la Vega to Lazio from Lanús. Anything else here? Suprayaha to 84 rated striker who's quick. Finishing of 87 as well. He looks half decent, you know. Leipzig have snapped him up. And at the bottom of the list, we're still above £50 million. So plenty of money flying about in this save right now. Carlo Ancelotti looks very happy there. His Everton side are 8th. We, however, are still top. And we've Aston Villa tomorrow. We've no more cup games now, actually. It's literally just a case of finishing the league season. So we're only about 4 episodes away from the end of the year, knowing then whether we'll have A, won the title, and B, well, I mean, we're definitely finishing top 4, aren't we? How far? Oh, I mean, we're 20 points from Manchester United. We're certainly finishing in a Champions League spot next season, lads. I can tell you that much for free. Join me tomorrow for another episode of the Hull City RTG, where our new signing in midfield, slightly further forward than we initially wanted to play him, but never mind, will take to the field for the first time and hopefully have a great debut. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Really appreciate the support of late. I may try and get something Football Manager-wise just as a pilot tester video out in the next month or so. It's not going to be immediate because I need to find the time to get it done. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate the support on the channel. Thank you for your feedback in the votes and in the comment sections of the past few episodes. And I will see you tomorrow. Ta-da.